What's up, everybody? Before you sit down to watch the Super Bowl, let's talk about Hadi Choopan. Hadi Choopan was obviously a favorite for this Arnold Classic coming up. He's a Mr. Olympia champion. He won the Arnold UK 2 years ago, back-to-back wins. But we were concerned, fans of bodybuilding, especially Hadi fans, were concerned because we hadn't heard from him. Didn't know, A, is he going to get into the country? Is he going to get a visa to the USA with everything going on in Iran right now? And B, again, with all the political chaos and people being slaughtered in the streets, that whole mess going on over there, how could Hadi Choopan possibly be at his best? Well, he answered all those questions this week. First, we found out he got the visa, so that's no problem at all. And then yesterday, he released this, which was taken at 7 weeks out, this video clip. 7 weeks, which we're at less than 4 weeks now. So this is more than 3 weeks old. And good Lord, he's already looking fantastic. The Hadi that we know, bursting full, shredded, detailed, massive. And now it's going to be a real battle between him and Andrew Jack. Whereas before, I honest to God thought Andrew was just going to walk away with this. I didn't think Hadi was going to be able to be anywhere near his best with everything going on. Iran is, something like over 36,000 citizens have been killed by the government in protests already just in the past couple months. It's a horrible situation over there, but Hadi is somehow keeping his head. And again, even in light of the fact that so many of his fans have turned on him for not being more outspoken against the fundamentalist religious political regime over there. But he's filtering all that out. He's clearly locked and loaded. He's focused. He's ready to rock. And this was just posted today. This says 5 weeks out. So now we're not just seeing the upper body. We're seeing that the legs are totally dialed in. The glutes are in. And this was at 5 weeks out. So this is a little over a week old, this clip that we're looking at. But he's just started to post again. For a while, Hadi was not posting anything. And that's another reason a lot of us fans were starting to get concerned. We were worried because is he okay? Is everything okay? Is he able to prep? Is he able to train okay with all this stuff going on? It just seemed like a horrible situation that this poor guy is put into due to the politics in his country and what's going on over there. But everything looks like it's on track, man. Everything looks like it's on track. He looks ready to rock. Looks like he's going to be as good as, if not better than, this look that won the Arnold Classic with a perfect score 2 years ago. This was Hadi. I think this was the UK Arnold. I'm not sure. I believe that's the UK backdrop from that year. It looked different from the USA backdrop. But you can see even Arnold Schwarzenegger himself right there. Super impressed with Hadi recording. Getting some shots. What's up? Hey, Zionic. Respect to Hadi for talking full package right now. I'm leading Andrew Jack. Oh, Andrew is incredible. Andrew is incredible. Again, I've been saying for months now, as soon as the list came out, so not that long, since the list came out, I said this show is going to come down to Hadi Choopan and Andrew Jack. No disrespect to Nick Walker, Martin Fitzwater, Brandon Curry, Mofo, to any of those guys. They're all excellent in their own rights. But I honestly still believe it's going to come down to Hadi Choopan and Andrew Jack. They're both just phenomenal competitors. Crazy physiques. Yeah, Andrew, I should say. Andrew does have some advantages in terms of the height, just the width, the structure overall, but Hadi has detail in places that Andrew does not. And he's got certainly better hamstrings. It's an overall more balanced physique because he is a much shorter guy. I'd say Hadi's about 5'5". Andrew's supposedly 6'2", so let's give him 6'2". So it's not quite a foot difference, but it's a big difference in height. So I showed this before. This was something put together by Superset Man on his YouTube channel. A quick comparison showing them at the last Olympia, not quite next to each other, obviously, but he did some editing for us, and he's scoring the shots. He gave Andrew the front double. He gave Andrew the front lat. Side chest, I bet he's going to give to Hadi. I would. Give Hadi the side chest. Rear double, that's a good one, man. Gave it to Andrew. Gave Andrew the rear double. Is he going to give Andrew the rear lat too? And I'm not saying I technically agree with all these, but hey, is he going to give Hadi this one? Yes, Hadi gets the rear lat spread. Side try. I think I'm going to give this one to Hadi. See if Superset Man agrees with me. 3-3. Oh, gave it to Andrew. Most muscular. I don't know. That's tough, man. And the crab most muscular. I would probably give that to. To Hadi. I think he's got a hell of a crab. For kicking off the season with this lineup. Yeah, this is a great Arnold Classic. Hadi has condition except back spread. Hadi has condition except back spread very thick. Points to luck, vat, shoulder, arms don't match. Andrew head to condition he wins. Well, I mean, if we're talking just pure condition, then Hadi he's in slightly better condition, even at that last Olympia, than Andrew was. But man, Hadi is no joke. You can't count Hadi out. Andrew hasn't beaten him yet. No, Andrew has never beaten Hadi. Hadi has beaten Andrew at all these Olympias. And I think, was he in that Arnold too? Hadi's beaten Andrew several times. Andrew can definitely win, but Hadi's favorite. Yeah. Usually you could say this, somebody hasn't been beaten by someone until they do. So this could be the show where Andrew finally gets ahead. I mean, Andrew had never beaten Samson before all these years. He's only been a pro this is his fourth pro season. 22, 23, 24. This is actually starting his fifth pro season. He turned pro 4 years ago at the Arnold Classic. But yeah, it's going to be a very, very tough call. And I'm not taking away from Nick Walker, Martin Fitzwater, Brendan Curry, Mo Foda. A lot of great guys going to this. It's an excellent Arnold Classic Andrew lineup. But Hadi and Andrew are just, to me, they're on a slightly different level. Obviously, Hadi's a Mr. Olympia champion. He's an Arnold Classic champion. Andrew has been third place at the Olympia. Then again, Nick Walker has been third place at the Olympia as well. Andrew has won the Arnold UK. He has yet to win the Arnold USA. But could he? Well, why not? We'll see. Here's how they all look back at the Olympia. Now, this was your top four with Derek, Hadi, Samson, and Andrew. It's the last time Andrew and Hadi stood on stage, obviously, next to each other. And, yeah, you can see structurally, Andrew is just, he's a unique specimen. Nobody looks like Andrew jacked. But Hadi is also very unique. He has this muscle thickness and density and detail. Things, those are some of the attributes that had Phil Heath winning all those Olympias. There were guys who were as big or bigger than Phil Heath. There were guys who had better structures than Phil Heath. Phil's clavicles, they were average width. They weren't wide. And there were guys with better structures that Phil just beat the crap out of them every time, every year after year, for 7 years in a row. I'm leaning Andrew overall, but how do you been conditioning density? That might be enough to answer. Yeah, it's judges reward total package. And if Hadi is in much better condition than Andrew, even if it's say like 20%, which is a significant difference in condition, I could definitely see Hadi getting this Arnold Classic for the second time winning the Arnold Classic. 50 shorties are stag, now shorties muscle dudes. Yeah, that was a different era. I mean, I remember when we had short guys with great aesthetics like Muhammad Makaway, Chris Dickerson, Frank Zane, not too short, 5'8". But I see what you're saying. Is the taller guys were clunkier back, and they were like Gunter, Rolf Moeller, Greg Kovacs would be the clunkiest of them all. Godfinger, it's improvers from Neo. Andrew's going to maybe come peel at Andrew's age, though. Well, Andrew is older than a lot of the competitors because he's 40 now. However, in terms of training age and competitive age, he's very young. He's only been competing. He did his first local crappy show over in Dubai back at the end of 2021, but he only turned pro in 4 years ago. It's been 4 years. So he's still very, very young in the game, guys. His body isn't beat up. He hasn't been through 20 years of gear and 30 or 40 contest preps like some of these people. And these updates from Hadi, which the fact that he's posting again shows you he's super confident, which he should be. I mean, he's a phenomenal bodybuilder, guys. There's no arguing that. Head to toe condition on glutes. Terry Pastel and Ben Fado. Yeah, neither of them I think ever had really shredded glutes. Tim Belknap. Tim Belknap was not aesthetically pleasing. He was a short, blocky guy. Tons of muscle, very thick and dense, but boy, was he blocky. Yeah. So these were 5 weeks out, 5 weeks out from the Arnold, and Hadi's condition was just already pretty much where it needs to be. This is how most guys look on stage if they're lucky. So, yeah, you remember Tim Belknap. Tim Belknap was the first guy that used insulin because he was diabetic. And rumor has it, I don't know if he ever confirmed or denied it, Belknap was using more insulin than he was supposed to as a diabetic. I don't know if that's true or not, but he certainly was very, very thick and dense, ahead of his time in terms of muscle thickness and density for that era, which would be like the early to mid 80s. Yeah. But look at Hadi, man. That is just, he owns people with those chest striations. There's very few people who have chest thickness and detail like Hadi. It's not a chest contest, but there are a lot of very mediocre, just okay sets of pecs out there in the pro league. A lot of guys, their chest isn't weak, but it's nothing special. That's the kind of chest everybody wants. Just super thick, top to bottom, side to side, incredibly detailed. Hadi has no weak points in terms of body parts. Everything has been developed to the max. Here he was again when he won the Arnold. Yeah, this is the Arnold UK in 2024. I'm going to go to his Insta in a second. You guys are already pre-gaming for the big game, I'm assuming. I just heard on Sirius XM, 1.8 billion chicken wings will be consumed in the USA alone tonight at Super Bowl parties at people's houses. I can't imagine how much beer, how many billions of gallons of beer will be consumed tonight. A lot of beer, chips, and wings. People love the finger foods, the snacks, because you don't have time to sit there and eat with a knife and a plate and a fork and a knife while you're trying to watch the damn Super Bowl. So I'm getting annoyed by Andrew's posing. I don't care a lot more than he does. How hard is it to get a proper posing coach? Yeah, I agree. The buzz. I mean, posing should be an easy fix because there are a lot of really good posing coaches out there, and they're all very, very willing and able to work with someone of Andrew's level. I mean, who wouldn't want to say, yeah, I took Andrew Jack and I made him a better poser. In fact, in Tampa, Rachel Daniels, the real Lois Lane, she's a posing coach, and I bet she could do wonders for Andrew. Top 3 predictions for Arnold. I'm going to go, boy, I'm so torn between Hadi and Andrew winning, but I do have Nick Walker in 3rd place. I think Nick's going to surprise a lot of people this time. I think he's going to bring back more of a streamlined look with a smaller waist. What'd you have? I guess Hadi, Jack, Walker. Yeah, I mean that's a very, very likely top 3. Very likely. God of frogs. I don't know where that frog comes from. Something can be fixed in one show. 4 years and he's still an amateur on the side shots. He is getting better, guys. Andrew is getting better. No, this was the Olympia. His side shots looked a lot better at the Olympia. But I agree, he could still improve on his posing. It doesn't bother me as much as it used to. He is better than he was. He used to pose in a fairly awkward way where he didn't look comfortable up there at all. And I think now he's starting to look comfortable. He's starting to just gain that confidence up there because he's been up there as a top guy so many times now. I'm thinking, I still am trying to get that interview. He doesn't give a lot of interviews. But I don't think Andrew had a lot of confidence that he could ever be Mr. Olympia a couple of years ago. Now I'm sure he sees it, especially after the feedback he must have received. Well, he saw all the posts, everything over social media. So many people were saying he was robbed. He should have won that Olympia back in October. And, very, very serious arguments could be made for it. He was good enough to be a Mr. Olympia. I think it's just we had Derek and we had Hadi. And they were deemed better by the judges. Your top 3, Hadi, Andrew, Walker. Okay, that's the same. No, you have Nick ahead of, no, you have Andrew too. So that's the same as Hadi, Jack. Yeah, you have the same as God of Frogs. So you guys must be great minds thinking alike. So I want to go to Hadi. This is videos about Hadi, so I want to go to his Insta for a second. Because he was not posting for a very long time. This had been 6 weeks ago. It was the last time he had posted, training with his son. And then He posted this 5 weeks ago, which was just words. I can't read even when I see this translated, I still can't understand what he's trying to say. Okay, I ate the flesh of my body. This Farsi in English, the Farsi does not translate well to English, or he's using some app to translate it that's not doing a great job. I will be with my people. Maybe I got lost, but I was able to find the way, had the ability to apologize, had the power to rebuild, sometimes with silence, sometimes shouting. I don't know. I think he's just trying to say he's very loyal to the people of Iran, and he's very grateful for his fans. Long live Iran, long live the true Iranian. And then this came out yesterday, and then this came out today. So he's back on Instagram. He's back posing, and that's a great, great sign. I mean, now we know he's his condition, his everything's going to be there. He's going to bring the package that we wanted him to. You know, I didn't want Andrew to just win because Hadi came in off his best. I wanted Andrew to win because he was the best man on stage, and he still very might well be. We don't know. But I have to say, I'm rooting for Hadi now just because of everything that's been going on in his country and the fact that so many of his fans turn their backs on him. I did see something else on Insta that was kind of sad to see. Let me see if I can pull it up for you. This was 36,000 killed. Beyond the Stage TV. Yeah, here we go. So this was posted on the Beyond the Stage TV page yesterday, I think. They post a lot. So, wow. How many? This was posted 8 hours. Yeah, geez, in one day, these guys have like 10 posts. So they're showing a gym in Iran, and they're removing banners and artwork of Hadi Choopan, asking, is this disrespectful, or do gym owners have every right to remove Hadi if they do not agree with his decisions following confirmation that he will be competing at the Arnold Classic? I don't think anyone's upset that he's competing. I think they were upset that he wasn't more outspoken towards the government, like a lot of these people are. This guy's in Iran, I think, on the second comment there. Many of us see the suffering in Iran. Oh, no, this guy's not there. So one athlete cannot fix a nation. One man cannot carry the weight of millions. Real change takes unity. And, you know, in a way, I've sort of been envious of these guys from places like Egypt, where Big Ramy had so much support from the Egyptian fans, and Iran. You know, we've seen Ramy and Hadi go back to their country after winning the Olympia, and it's like a World Series or a Super Bowl parade. You're watching the hundreds of thousands of people turn out in the streets for these guys. But at the same time, they carry a very, very deep responsibility representing their nation. And if they displease their fans in that country for any reason, oof, they will turn their backs on them in a heartbeat. I've heard that about the Brazilian fans too, that they're very, very loyal to their athletes, to their champions. But if their champion doesn't deliver as promised or doesn't perform as well as they had expected them to, they will turn on them in a freaking heartbeat. So yeah, but that's kind of sad to see them taking that. Hadi looking fresh and very hard. I agree. We go again. Why does Andrew hamstrings look poor in the back doubles? Just development? I think it's development. He still needs more hamstrings. They're not as good as they need to be. They don't quite match the quads and the side shots, but you know, hopefully they will. It's a response to the outcry that we're not seeing is. Yeah, it is. I mean, but again, you know, what happens to people who stand up against the government in Iran? Iran doesn't play. It's not like here where you can go to a protest and go up to federal agents with machine guns and tear gas and scream in their face and disrespect them and abuse them, and everything's okay. You do that over in Iran, I'm pretty sure you're dead. They don't play over there. They're not worried about offending or being nice to their citizens. If you're standing up publicly against the government, the soldiers will do what they've been trained and ordered to do, and they will cut you down. I know I'm not trying to speak as if I know a whole lot about Iran and what's going on, because I don't. I just read little things in Apple News. I'm not that well versed in what's going on in Iran. But it is kind of sad to see that the fans are turning on him like that. The problem is how he's not speaking out, be a dumb movie like that. Yeah, I mean, they could punish him in so many ways. I mean, not leaving the country, that would probably be the most lenient response from the government if he spoke out. They could do a lot worse than that. They could put him in prison. They could take his gym away. They could, who knows? I mean, I don't know if he could be killed for it. I don't know, but it wouldn't be, there would be repercussions. There would be consequences. They don't have freedom of speech in Iran. They're not allowed to say whatever they want about the government with no repercussions. It's a very, very different culture, a very different country. If Hadi holds a head and toe condition, legs same size. You have winning the Arnold. Goku, I have either Hadi or Andrew. I'm just torn. So can we see from this if his legs are the same size? Let's see. So this is the only full body that we have. Let me take that comment away. Let's see if there's any indication when he turns to the front, if we can see. Legs from the back look great. Hamstrings look like cables. So the leg on our left side of the screen is the one that's been downsized a little. He poses it a little differently. Yeah, you can see he's got it in front of the other leg. I don't know if the disparity is still there. Probably. It's not that bad. I mean, it doesn't really bother me that much. I don't know if it bothers you guys. God of Frogs. We don't have freedom of speech in the UK either. Get jailed for saying the wrong thing. Yeah, I mean, I've followed some of the things that have been happening over there. A guy got thrown in jail for making like an anti-Islamic tweet or something that was construed as anti-Islamic, that's really scary. It's scary that you can get in that much trouble for just a tweet. Talk about no freedom of speech. That is awful. Go back to Hadi's Insta. Yeah, this was long ago. He never got out of shape. So he obviously had planned on doing the Arnold again after the Olympia, because I didn't see a quote unquote health phase where he got smaller and smoother, going on off all the PEDs. I'm assuming he'll do that after this, so his body can get a little rest before the Olympia. But I didn't see anything like that. He stayed in shape the whole time. This was 10 weeks ago. Yeah, see these things. Don't be afraid. It's not a gun. It's a lighter. Oh, that was the finger. He's talking about what he was doing with his finger. A little hand gesture. I want to let people know it's not gun violence or anything like that. But this guy he's tough, man. Yeah, that was a gun. Come on, Hadi. That was a gun. Who are you kidding, Hadi? Don't be silly. What else we got, guys? What else we got? Not as much leg difference, better. I think both photo will beat. I think Foda. I have Foda right now based on the photos. I know it's kind of silly to judge people by themselves and they're not even saying this, but I have Foda in 5th. I think it's going to be either Andrew or Hadi for the win. I think Nick will be 3rd. I think Martin will be 4th. And I have Mo Foda up in 5th. If I see some improvements in the condition, and Brandon doesn't even post, he doesn't post a lot of update picks at all, but Raphael, if I see him looking tighter, if I see some improvements in the next couple of weeks, I might change those predictions. But right now, his gym looks insane. Probably Hadi will win the Arnold. Yeah, I mean, he's won it before, guys. He's won it before. It wouldn't be that big of a stretch for him to come win it again. I mean, the only guy I really foresee beating him, because he's clearly going to be at his best, as good as the Olympia, if not better. And let's remember, he won the finals of the Olympia. He had the higher score than Derek. Or I should say the lower score, which is lower points, which is a higher score. And he still lost because Derek had gained too much ground in the judging Friday night. But he was right there with Derek, and he beat Derek at the finals, but it just wasn't enough to clinch the title again. But, so many people have said this, and it's true. Hadi could have 4 or 5 Olympia titles by now. There were a lot of Olympias where he was 2nd or 3rd, where very, very strong arguments could have been made for him being the winner that year. He's a very, very complete physique. This is hashtag bodybuilding, as Milos would say. Not the most shapely and aesthetically pleasing guy, no, but he still doesn't have like a thick, blocky waist or anything like that. He's just a shorter guy. And when a short guy packs on that much muscle, it's hard to, say this guy's aesthetics. But look at that. He still pulls a vacuum. He's got one of the best midsections in the pro league. He's phenomenal. He's no joke. Brandon 6th to 5th, and Raphael 7th. Yeah, that could very well be. Total backside could be for Smo versus Raphael. Martin or Nick, who do you have third? I have Nick in third. It could go Martin. Martin's very good too. I can't see his updates because he blocked me long ago, probably like 3-4 months ago now. Version of Walker that took Derek to the wire. That might be enough to topple both Jacked and Hadi. Maybe. I think you're talking about the Pittsburgh Pro. So I still have that up here somewhere? Yeah, I do. I know, we're going all over the place now, but this was a very good version, I thought, of Nick Walker at the Pittsburgh Pro almost a year ago now. This was last April. And a lot of people had Nick winning. Even Tyler Mannion had Nick winning, but in the end, they were so close. And Steve Weinberger came up with this extra pose down round, and Nick Walker lost by that hair, by a point. But we'll see. Hadi has certainly been screwed out of 3 or 4. Yeah, you could make Hadi is sick. Well, sick, Jack, is the term that these kids use. It just means he's looking free. It's like saying he's freaky. He's looking sick. Yeah. I didn't mean that he meant I didn't mean to say that he looked ill, like he wasn't in good health. He looks great, actually. If Nick is not 100%, even 99%, he will lose to Martin. I don't know. I mean, it's true that Martin has beat him last time, but at his best, and I would not say the 25 Olympia was Nick Walker's best. If he comes in with a more streamlined midsection, it's not so thick and blocky, he's very, very capable of beating Martin. See, Martin is a winner in major contests. Something about him doesn't add for me. Martin's very good. I mean, Martin is another topic. He looks like he struggled a lot with prep. Yeah, again, I can't see the updates, but he hasn't been showing much. And some people do seem to believe that Martin is off, that he's not looking on track or on schedule. Now, I don't know if that's true or not because I can't see. But the shots I've seen, like he threw up a back pose a few days ago, and it wasn't looking that crisp. 0 carbs and 30 minutes cardio every day wasn't his last update. I don't know, Godfather. I can't God of Frogs. I can't see his updates. He's blocked me. He's blocked a lot of people. He's blocked Beyond the Stage TV. He's blocked Giles, me, obviously Giles. Miguel Chain from Brazil. He blocked him. If Arnold Derek was at Pittsburgh, it wouldn't even be close. Yeah, Derek looked great at the Arnold last year. At the Arnold, the Pittsburgh, his legs came down. His legs were definitely very flat. Nick has best part. I mean, honestly, Nick looks better here for me. But what do I know? Well, I mean, a lot of people felt that way. Got to get a burner account on. Nah, well, you know what? I have plenty of people who have not been blocked that I know, so they can screenshot things for me. So when I'm around certain people at the gym or whatever, I'm like, hey, can you pull it up? And then they'll just screenshot it for me and send it to me. I mean, you're going to block everybody I know? Good luck. Good luck, guy. Ain't going to be easy. I know a lot of people. It's a recent Hadi pick. This is not. I'll show you. This was posted. The most recent image we have is a video. This was posted today by Hadi on his Instagram. It was at 5 weeks out, and we're now just under 4 weeks. So this is a little over a week old. This is the most recent image. I guess that's the right word. The most recent thing we have to go by as far as how Hadi's looking. And I think he's looking insane. I mean, that's 5 weeks out. The body fat is almost completely gone. I mean, where is the body fat? He's probably got like another pound of body fat to lose, dry out a couple pounds of water, and he's ready to go. Martin looks worse the more show he does. Remember last year, Pittsburgh, all the shows for Pittsburgh. Yeah, some people look better. Like I thought Quint Beastwood, I thought he was looking better as the shows went on last summer because he did 5 shows, remember? I turned his comments off. Do you know why? Yeah, I saw that. I probably should have made a note of that. I think it's because, he's got, how many followers here? I wonder how many he's lost. That's a good question. How many followers has Hadi lost? So he's still got 8.5 million followers. I don't know if he had like 10 before. 8.5 million that's a lot of followers, guys. That's insane. But he was getting a lot of negative comments from his fans who they believe he should have spoken out more against the government, the regime, the fundamentalists who are running Iran right now and have been since the revolution in 1978. It's when the Ayatollah Khomeini took power. They deposed, they kicked out the Shah, who was very friendly to the USA. We had great relations with the Shah of Iran. Iran was a capitalist country back then, very modern, very Western, compared to a lot of the other Middle Eastern countries. And then it became less so. Again, I don't want to get into it because I don't know that much. Also, did you get to see those knots? Yeah, I saw those. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to knock Martin for that because these guys are taking so many shots, guys. So many shots. They're doing more orals toward the end too, but they're still taking the Primobolan and Test Prop and Trend and Masteron. They have to put all that gear somewhere. So you can't put it all in the glutes. You're going to have like horns sticking out of your glutes in the upper outer quadrants. Can't put it on the delts because then the delts get too much scar tissue and lose detail. So I'm sure a lot of guys, I was doing TRT shots in my lats because a local NPC super heavyweight guy suggested to me about a year ago because I was like, man, I'm sick of putting all this stuff in my shoulders and my butt. Hadi or jacked? Who do you have winning? Give me another week to marinate on that one. Who do you have winning juiced up? You're all juiced up. You tell me. Do the politics, put it short. Yeah. I mean, the Martin lat thing, it doesn't really bother me. It's not like he's got these big baseball lumps sticking out of his lats or anything like that. People talk about the politics of sport. Yeah, they were very upset with him for because he's their champion, their bodybuilding champion. They expect him to insert himself into the political issues going on over there, which he does not want to do. He just wants to focus on, come on, the guy's trying to get ready for a huge $750,000. This is the biggest cash prize any bodybuilding contest has ever offered for a winner. It's insane. We're finally getting close to $1 million. This is $750,000. He just wants to focus on winning the damn Arnold. But, his comments, they're all berating him and criticizing him for not standing up enough for the Iranian people. And, he's made his comments and he said what he wanted to say, but he doesn't want to argue with people. And I don't blame him. Yeah, that chest is crazy. He's got one of the greatest chests in the world right now. I think the hate Derek was getting from Hadi fans is now reversed. Well, I mean, I never blamed Hadi. The hate that the Hadi fans were giving toward Derek, Hadi did nothing to instigate that. He never made a post saying, you guys, Derek's a clown. He didn't deserve to beat me, blah, blah, blah. Go troll him. He never did anything like that. The fans took it upon themselves. But no, I don't like to see any bodybuilders get hate. I don't want to see Derek, Hadi, Nick, Martin, Andrew. I don't want to see any of these. Samson. You know what? No, it's nobody deserves that. I mean, unless they're just an awful person or something. But I don't know any of these guys that are actually horrible human beings. Merdad, I think you're in Iran. That sounds like a Persian name to me. All this is part of the plan of Hadi Choopan's enemies who are trying to achieve their own goals. Hadi has no connection at all with the Islamic Republic regime. Yeah, how would he? He's a freaking bodybuilder. He's a gym owner and he's a champion bodybuilder. He's a Mr. Olympia. The hell is he? Why do they expect him to be a political activist, especially in a place where there are dire consequences for opposing the government? Like 36,000 people have been killed just in the past couple months. It's crazy. Andrew, power body condition. Andrew, I'll say Hadi, very close, very different physically side by side. Yeah, they're very, very different physiques. Very different. I mean, obviously, that's not fair. He wasn't in the pose. There we go. I mean, they're both amazing in their own right. They're both incredible champions. Hadi is by far the more accomplished of the two. He's been a pro since 2018, I think, or 2017. I'm sorry, 2017. So almost 10 years. Andrew turned pro in 2022. So Hadi's been in the Mr. Olympia, let's see, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 7 times. He's never been, I think, lower than 4th. I'd have to look it up, but I don't think he's ever been lower than 4th. He's won it. He's been 2nd. He's been 3rd. Very, very consistent Olympia competitor. Olympia's bigger money for the win. No, so Olympia Jack paid $650 for the 2024 and 2025 Olympia. I thought they were going to raise the prize money. They have overall more prize money because they include every division down to bikini, figure, all that. They have every division, whereas the Arnold, they eliminated over the course of the years, they eliminated men's 212, women's physique, women's figure, women's bodybuilding. So they still have open bodybuilding, classic physique, men's physique, bikini, women's fitness. I think that's all they have. I stand by Choopan, says Johnny a Sponge. Lower body, Andrew inner condition. Andrew can win, guys. There's no doubt in my mind. Andrew can win. I just don't know. They both have different strong points and different weaknesses. Hadi from the back isn't quite as detailed. Andrew's back has come up a lot. The thing is, Andrew is getting better. He's improving. We've been seeing it in the past couple of shows where Hadi's maxed out. He's great, but he's as good as he's going to get. And he's actually younger than Andrew, but he's been bodybuilding a lot longer than Andrew Jack has. Hadi's 38, but I think he's been competing since he was in his early 20s. So he's got a lot of years on him. So if we talk about like training age, competitive age, Hadi's actually much older. If you look at that, his body's been through quite a bit more. Hadi did nothing, walked on the stage when Derek was crowned, pushed the algorithm and his fans followed by. Well, he's explained the whole walking out on the stage thing, which I still don't think was cool. But yeah, he was clearly very, very upset. He was probably either going to cry or something. He didn't want people to see him that upset, so he just walked away. I'm not defending him, but he did give an explanation. I don't know what you mean. What you mean when you say he pushed the algorithm and his fans followed blindly. I never heard him encourage his fans in any way to come after Derek. Arnold Classic, Lunsford. Yeah, Lunsford looked great last year. Maybe Hadi and Andrew get called up by themselves for finals, all mandatory poses. Yeah, very, very, very often in these big shows like the Olympia and the Arnold, any pro show really, if it's very close between 2 guys, very often the final call out of judging after they've gone through the first call out, second call out. First call out's usually the top 4 or 5, maybe 6 guys, and then they work their way down to the guys who are not going to place well at all. And then at the very end, they'll bring out usually the top 2 guys that they're trying to decide between. Sometimes there'll be 3, but most times it's 2 guys. It's very exciting for the fans because, that's when it's close and it's pretty much that's cemented that these are your top 2 if we see that happen in judging. So I could very, very much see Hadi and Andrew being the last call out of judging at the Arnold Classic this year. Arnold pays more than Olympia. It pays more for first prize, $750 versus $650. But again, I have to be accurate and say overall, the Olympia gives out more total prize money because they include all the divisions of the IFBB Pro League, whereas the Arnold Classic, they're not obligated to do that. They have eliminated a few divisions that they didn't feel were making enough money or that were generating enough interest, sponsors, things like that. Whereas the Olympia, they have no choice. They have to feature every single division. They're obligated. It's not even a consideration. Just looks like it's second and 4 explosion. Yeah, his chest is freaking amazing, guys. So me listen to the other podcast. Yeah, Jack, I was on IFBB AMA with Milos Sarshev and Chris Tuttle. Chris reached out to me and we put it together and had a lot of fun. Both those guys. I've known Milos longer. I've known Milos since the early '90s, but always a good time talking to them. That was the first time I'd spoken to Milos since that infamous Power Hour with me, Milos, and Giles, which it was like 8 months ago. That's a long time ago, where Milos kept calling him a fucking idiot, and it went on and on for like an hour. And I should have stopped it, but I didn't. I just let it go. Still regret that. Samson's looking like a monster with that recent guest posing. Yeah. Samson's like knocking on the door at 360 now. Let's see Hadi much different than usual and get the hype. Well, the thing is he isn't much different. He hasn't gotten much better in many years. Well, many is a little sounds like 20. But he's maxed out. He's amazing, and he's as good as he's going to get. Every pro at some point, they max out. They reach their full potential. They're as good as they're going to get. Any weak body parts that need to be brought up have been brought up. Any issues with condition have been fixed. And that's where Hadi's been for at least 4 or 5 years now. He looks amazing. I mean, he won the Olympia back in 2022. So it's been almost 3.5 years since he won the Olympia. But he really can't get any better because he's amazing, and he's as good as he's going to get. Just don't care for Hadi's shape, structure. He's not very aesthetically pleasing. I mean, he's a shorter guy. It's hard for the shorter guys to show the aesthetics because it's a smaller frame. You see that more with the classic guys because they don't have as much muscle on the frame. So a shorter guy in classic physique, like a Terrence Ruffin, can still be very aesthetically pleasing because they don't have all that muscle, blowing out the. It's hard to have a small waist when you're that thick. You have that much muscle mass. It's very hard. Too many women divisions. I agree. I mean, the final straw for me was Fit Model. I was like, that's when I just threw my hat up in the air and said, that's it. I'm done. I believe Andrew is on the verge of a big run, starting with Arnold win, followed by winning the Olympia. Yeah, Johnny, that's what Giles Thomas, who is taking Andrew on a UK tour right after the Arnold UK. He's been saying that for months now. So I can't claim to be the one who came up with that brilliant idea. It was Giles. I didn't ask directly fans push hate toward Derek, but he did it indirectly. How? I'm honestly curious. How did he do it indirectly? I really do want to know. Because I'm holding Hadi completely innocent in this scenario until I hear otherwise. But let me know. Did he say something? I don't know what he said or posted that would have made fans do that. Hadi's most looks so much larger versus Gaspari, sort of muscle ability, speaking conditioning. Oh yeah, I mean Gaspari was like one of the most conditioned athletes we ever saw. I mean, that was my idol. I had pictures of him up on my wall. I wanted to look like that with all the striations and veins. I thought that was the coolest thing. So great about Hadi, except the condition he brings, not more stagnant. Well, he's got a lot of muscle mass. He does have a very good structure. It's just shorter. He's got the wide shoulders. Derek and Hadi, it's very rare that you see guys who they're about 5'5", let's be real. Very rarely do guys who are as short as they are have very wide clavicles and still a narrow hips and waist. Look, Samson was so depleted there. He was so undersized. Raphael looks the same, as always, soft as a baby's ass. Yeah, I'm not overly impressed with Raphael right now. I'm curious to see how he's able to dial it in the next few weeks. These footage, Derek looks massive. Oh, Derek is huge. Come on. Andrew is progressing. For me, the myth got me started. Then the myth was Sergio Oliva. Yeah. I have Nick 6. Don't know. Poor Nick. So, Kane, what is your top 5? If Nick's not even in the top 5, I'm curious. I'm not going to argue with you because this show could go any of many different ways. We have no idea. We can make all our predictions, and we do. It's fun, but it rarely shakes out exactly the way we think it's going to. Hunter return this year. You think he'll do well? I think you want to say, yeah, Hunter's a very good bodybuilder. He does have that pec tear, which is a little distracting, but remember, Hunter has been as high as 4th place in Mr. Olympia. That was before the pec tear, but still, Hunter's a damn good bodybuilder. We haven't seen much from Nick lately. I think Raphael is chasing for more size. Kane loves Bob. Does he really? Probably not. Should I go to Nick? Let's see. We're trying to talk about Hadi. Maybe we should go to Andrew for a second. See if Andrew's got anything new. Where are you, Andrew? There we go. Andrew jacked. So Andrew has not posted a lot of full body stuff. Even that, he does like a thumbnail for the training clips with the little physique shot, but then you don't get to see that. Like right there, that's, you click on that, it goes right into the training. You can't actually see what he looks like. But if you just spread it out on the screen, you can see Andrew has made serious improvements over the past couple of years. Everything is better. His back is better, his hams are better, his quads, arms are always great. He gets a lot of shit for supposedly having a bunch of oil in his arms and shoulders, but I don't think they look bad. And honestly, if you don't think all these top guys are using something like that, some sort of SEO, I mean, we don't know, but it's very, very hard. It's very hard to say anyone for certain doesn't have any oil in there. Let's see. Say good things about Nick so he doesn't block me. So I want to be able to see Nick's updates. What's recent for Nick? I know I'm sort of going off into other people now, but yeah, it's just all stuff like that. Oh, that was 7 hours ago. Wow. Yeah, Nick is pretty freaky, man. Pretty freaky. I really want to see that waist come back to where it was a couple years ago. When he was second to Samson at the 2023 Arnold, that was a really good look for him. When he was third place at the Olympia in 2022, another great look at his waist. His waist was smaller back then. He was a little smaller, but he was still huge. He doesn't need to be 260, 270, whatever it is, on stage like he was at the Olympia. I think in the 250s, he's golden. He's still bigger than everybody else. He's still freakier. Yeah, I know. It's a Hadi video. Why are we talking about Nick Walker? I don't know. Let's see. I'm way back. Hunter, nah, his dad was better. It was a different era. I think Hunter's great in his own way. Yeah, Lee was phenomenal. I was a huge Lee Labrada fan. I think for Hadi, politics will affect the judge decision. No, I don't think the judges don't care. And they seriously don't care about international politics. They could give a rat's ass, as we say. Rafael, to me, looks like he doesn't have enough muscle, so he can't afford to come in peeled. I'll talk about Rafael because I'm actually interviewing Neil Hill later in the week. We'll be talking. Is Hadi winning? Is that the new opinion? Well, he's definitely not losing because of a. Well, first of all, we didn't know if he was going to get here. We didn't know if he was going to get a visa. That was cleared up. Then we're like, this guy has been posting, and there's so much going on in Iran with people being killed, and they're pretty much ready to revolt against the government. We didn't know if he was going to be able to train and diet and prep for the show at 100% with all this going on, because mentally, when your country's basically at war or close to it, it's got to be hard to concentrate. But he's laser focused. He's locked in. He has Andrew winning. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't have anyone winning right now. I have Andrew or Hadi winning. I know it sounds like a cop out, but man, they both have strong points that the other one doesn't have. They're very different physiques. I think that's safe. Very safe to say, very, very different physiques. Andrew would have dominated the 80s. He certainly would have been right up there with guys like Haney and so forth. There's all the shit he gets. He was disqualified. I think you're talking about Hadi. Paul Bartlett. What's up, Big Paul? The latest Nick Walker post from his toilet where he's taking a long shit. Well, that's good. He needs to keep his midsection, his stomach nice and flat. Keep that gut empty. Good time to show an example of him. I did. It shows confidence. You mean Hadi. Saying good things. No one's saying anything bad about any of them. Meanwhile, Nicholas is sticking the basics, 7 dumps per day. I take about 7. How about you, Paul? I probably average 6 or 7 dumps a day. Nick is bringing more size. I mean, if you eat 5-6 meals a day, I eat 6 meals a day. You're gonna be taking a lot of dumps. Nick is bringing more size. Seems like his insides grew, not just his abs. Oh, I agree. I mean, it's not his abs. It's like organ growth or something. But that can be reversed. We saw Rolly Winkler a few years ago. He was getting a big bubble gut, and he reversed it. So it can be done. It can be done. Sundays we rest. That's a guy. I don't know what they're signing contracts. On my own coach. Yeah, let's give Nick a little credit for coaching himself, because it's not an easy thing to do in terms of confidence when you know you're going up against guys that are being coached by Chris Aceto, Neil Hill. I don't know if George Farah is anywhere in the show. Hani Rambod's probably been coaching Hadi Choopan secretly. I wouldn't doubt it. See, when he posts these, his waist looks a lot smaller, but I remember seeing updates like this going to the Olympia, and then his waist was a lot bigger at the Olympia. But this looks to me like his waist is smaller. It looks like his midsection, I should say, not his waist. It's smaller and tighter. It's not as thick and blocky looking. So that encourages me. I'm happy to see that. And I hope he brings that to the stage, not just Instagram. Donald Pump has Hadi, Martin, Nick, Andrew Jacked. Oh, wait. Number 1, 2, 3. You have Andrew Jacked in 9th? That's what it looks like you got there. Come on, guys. He's not going to place 9th. No way Andrew beats Hadi. It's never happened before, but that doesn't mean it couldn't happen again. When you review Yoda Hill, you have to ask about why it looks so bad. Fake gear. Well, I'm going to ask him I'm going to state my opinion. I always do it in a very respectful way. And I don't think Mike looks bad, but I don't think he looks as good right now as he did going into the Olympia. But yeah, I've got a lot of questions about Sommerfeld and a lot about Raphael. I like Neil a lot. He's a good dude. So we saw what he did for Flex Lewis all those years. Very, very attentive coach. Cares very deeply about all his clients. Triceps back to the Ernie Taylor look. Because Nick, Hadi, Andrew, Krizo. What's that? Krizo's not in the show, Catherine. Nick, Hadi, Andrew, they are, all three of them. But Krizo will not take 4th because he will not be in the show. So I can guarantee you he won't take 4th. I like Hadi's physique, but they penalize for it. Nah, they don't highlight. If they're penalizing for height, all these, Derek would never have won an Olympia or an Arnold. Hadi would never have won an Olympia or an Arnold. They're both like 5'5". Nick Walker's 5'6". There aren't many tall people in bodybuilding. There's even in the open, which it's unlimited body weight. You still have very few guys 6 foot or taller. Very few. The vast majority of guys that are open bodybuilding pros, are between 5'9", I should say 5'8" and 5'10". That's probably the majority of them are in that range. Yeah, I knew what you meant. Double M. Hadi's already falling apart. Maybe I should go back to Hadi instead of showing Nick. Talk about Hadi. I can't be showing Nick Walker all the time. Hadi is already falling apart. His right quad is melting. His back looks like 6 weeks out. Yeah. Well, Sunday, yeah. I'll let you guys go soon. Super boring. Talk about the Super Bowl, super boring. Hadi is going to be number 10. Oh, boy. That's terrible. I give Nick credit after I see good shape on Says. Yeah. I mean, I really try not to go by Instagram pictures because they can be so manipulated and taken from just the right angle, just the right lighting to make you look far better than you do in reality. But the stage, you can't hide jack shit on the stage. The lights are bright. We're seeing you from every angle. You get exposed. If you've been hiding stuff on Instagram or YouTube, it gets exposed on stage. I don't trust any pictures. Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. Hadi's going to slam Andrew again. People are weirdos like BLM and COVID. They say if you're silent, you're racist. People need to chill out. Yeah, if you're silent, it just means you don't want to speak out against anything. Nobody's obligated to be an activist for the cause that you believe in. You can shout and go protest, but it doesn't mean everyone else has to. Hadi left Derek while secretly coaching Hadi. What a clown. Glad his boy didn't win. I don't know if he's coaching Hadi, but I strongly suspect that he is. I mean, Hadi's looking fantastic. He's looking as good as he ever has. Is he doing that all on his own without a coach? Whereas all those other years he had Hadi. I always do that. So I don't know. It would be very, very surprising to me if Hadi was not being coached by Hadi. I would bet that he is. I would bet that he is. So it's a live run. Thank you. Cost nothing to like and subscribe. Thank you, Warhammer. You trolled me today. You had me thinking I was a Sam Solik hater. Oh, shit. Go back to that again. That's a good one. We're taking the final comments. Andrew's beating Hadi Well, Ghana, a lot of people believe it's going to be Andrew. A lot of people believe it's going to be Hadi. They're both amazing. If Nick looked like that on stage, he'd be number one. Yeah, if he brings his waist on stage looking like that, he's going to do very well. Thank you, man. Thumbs up. Doesn't cost you anything either. It's a like. Acito, Hill, Milos, Hani, Sarah, Nick by himself. Good luck. Sean Ray did it. Yates had a few, but he'd ask athletes. Well, I mean, Nick Walker does have people around him. I know, like Guy Cisternino is one of the guys who takes a look at him, and I'm sure he's very blunt with him and lets him know, are you head behind? Nick has trusted people that are giving him a second set of eyes, third set of eyes, if you will. I knew it was supposed to say, didn't impress me. Really, I was impressed. I thought he looked great. Camera angle is perfect to make Nick's waist look smaller than it actually is. Yeah. I mean, who among us doesn't take selfies like that? You're not going to take a selfie to make yourself look worse. Let's see what Acito could do with Nick. Yeah, I bet Acito would be a good coach for him. Nick using camera angle to minimize the size of his waist. No worries, Captain. I mean, Krizo, I think he's coming back for New York Pro. I think I heard that. I see Nick first, and I get disappointed when I see him on stage. Yeah, I mean, he does have good updates, but the last Olympia was just not his best. How tall is Urs? I think Urs is 5'10". 5'10". People like Hadi lost a lot of followers. He went from 8 million to something like 8 million something. So did he gain followers? Yeah, 5'11". Thank you, Goku. I can't imagine that he gained any followers. But he must have lost some. Thong fans in the chat, was a Super Bowl bodybuilder to Olympia with the gap is narrow, Rose. I mean, if we're going by the prize for open bodybuilding, Arnold is number one right now. That's not an argument. I thought the Olympia was going to level up because the Olympia was 650 in 2024. The Arnold was 500 in 2024, and then they bumped it up to 750 for this year. So I thought the Olympia was going to step up. It would be a mistake to discount Hadi, always 100%. Fuller recent update, of course, be his all-time best. Yeah, I agree. Hadi is. You can never ever count Hadi Choopan out. Never. It would be foolish. Very foolish. He's a freak, man. He's a champion. He's a true champion. His arm bellies caught some side shots. Back much better calves during siege. Nobody cares about calves anymore. I honestly don't think anybody cares. Do they do exercise to make vacuums like Hadi? I don't know who you mean they. They practice their vacuums, if that's what you mean. You do have to practice your vacuums if you want them to look great. That was 24 days out from the Olympia. So this is old. So this is leading up to the Olympia. I don't think his legs are going to look too different. They're not going to look very different, guys. He hasn't changed much. I don't think he can change much at this point. He is super strong, though. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 plates on the Smith. That's a lot. I don't care if it's a Smith machine or not. That's a lot of weight. Sean Block Milos. Sean Ray. Oh, no. The Olympia will always be bodybuilding's most prestigious show. Oh, I agree. Even if it's not the top prize show, it's the Olympia. That's what every bodybuilder wants to be, Mr. Olympia. They want to win the Arnold too, but they want to win Mr. Olympia. It's the title that's been held by all the champions, all the way down from Larry Scott, Sergio, Arnold, Lee Haney, Dorian, Ronnie, Phil, Jay. It's the title everybody's always going to want. Is Hani's FST bogus? I don't know. I've tried. I liked it a lot. I'll say this about FST 7, the sevens portion of it, where you do 7 sets, same weight with only 30 seconds rest. If you've had trouble or have never been able to get a good pump in a body part, if you do those 7s for that body part, I promise you, you're gonna get a great pump. Is it an age thing? It's height that's called out. Yeah, Nick left HD again. I'll take a picture of myself. Oh, Andrew needs total body conditioning. Go back to. I don't want to just leave a squatting picture up all damn day. I'll leave that up while we're taking comments. Andrew needs total body conditioning. Yeah, his stage presence could be a little better. It has improved. He's a bodybuilder, not a politician. I also don't get why some people took the Bible to get dragged into politics. Yeah. because they're so into politics, they want everyone else to be, and it's just not everyone's thing. Especially when he's trying to focus. It's a lot of work trying to win a show like the Arnold or the Olympia. You can't be distracted. You can't be spending hours of your day arguing back and forth on social media with people about politics. Yeah, this guy came from nothing, went through a hard life. Yeah, I don't think he's had an easy life. The Bill Belichick, the Thong Bowl. Well, Belichick is no longer the Patriots coach. Hasn't been for a few years now. There's a lot of pressure on them. We're battling for it's $750, Jack. It's even more than $700. $750. It's a cool $750,000. I don't care about my own cats. A lot of people don't. Vacuum pretends, or he's teaching him how to do a vacuum. Google how to do vacuums on YouTube. You'll find some good instructions. Nobody else does, bitch. Talking about calves. Yeah. How dare he be a bodybuilder who squats? Well, it's a Smith machine. Built everything he has today. Talking about Hadi with pure hard work. Now some people expect him to risk his whole life, his career, his future, his family safety, everything just to make political statements. I agree. That's bullshit. He shouldn't. Giles too soft. Milos just like they could have hugged it out after Giles cried, blocked him. Well, they couldn't hug him out because Milos is in Vegas and Giles is in the UK. It's too far to hug. Love you guys. Love you, Rod. Thank you. Be safe tonight. You celebrate the real sport. Yeah. Be safe tonight. Those of you who are going to be drinking and watching the Super Bowl. Much love. Thank you, Melvin. Guy in 5'6" kept me on stage trying to be a steak. I agree. It's very, very difficult. It's putting that much mass on a small frame. It's not easy. Trisha, the prize money Olympia was always the biggest. Yeah, they're going to have to step up their game this year. They're going to have to, and I think they will. Being a bodybuilder doesn't mean you owe anyone else. I agree. Hadi's role is bodybuilding discipline, representing your sacrifice. Yeah, I mean, that is putting his family in danger. Iran is not the USA. I think a lot of people, they're thinking of how it is in the USA, where we have freedom of speech. You can protest. You can say whatever you want about the government as long as you're not threatening to assassinate the president. And it's all good. You have that right. You don't have those rights in many other countries, including Iran. People don't shit on Beirut Sabani from Iran as well. True. Because he isn't a big figure like Hadi. Yeah, he's not quite as well known as Hadi. All right, guys, I'm going to take off. It's been over an hour. So I appreciate you guys watching. Please like, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff. I'll be back later in the week with more content. And that's it. I appreciate you guys all watching. For those of you who'll be watching the big game, go Pats. And we'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching.